All right, Coach, initial thoughts from the Friday night session. Got one through to the podium, Jacob Frost. What did you see from him tonight?
Well, excited. Anytime the first time you get on the podium and you're a Division I wrestler, that's something you never ever forget. So, hats off to Jacob Frost. He got it done in a tough match. Now he just came back and got caught, and so we're going for 7th place tomorrow. But good for him. Tough night for his brother. This is a game of inches when you get to this particular point, and so really being ready to go is critical. And but the Frost boys are those guys that won a lot of matches for us this year.
Going back to Jacob's blood round match, gave up 2 first-period takedowns, but fought all the way back for a 9-8 win. What can you say about his resiliency in that match?
Yeah, those guys have done that a lot. We have to, as a staff, we have to figure out how to get those guys ready to go more the first period. Just what you saw is an example of those guys are always behind the 8 ball, and so we have to figure out as a staff how to get those guys ready to go when they step out there, because I think they lose every first period. So credit to them for the way they fight back, but it's hard to win at this level if to really excel and get to the Saturday night and Saturday afternoon if you have that thing going on. So we got to get that figured out.
What did it say about the depth of your program? You lose your 141 All-American to season-ending injury, but you had another one waiting in the wings.
Yeah, I think our depth is what kept us kind of alive. And obviously when you have a season like you have last year, and then things kind of roll into, if you saw the pre-seeds to the tournament, with the exception, I think, at 149, we kind of wrestled where we were seated across the board. Probably if you broke it down, a few guys were below their seeds, and some guys like Riggins were way above their seeds, but it probably averaged out. So at the end of the day, we just didn't have the personnel to get it done, and luckily we had some depth. You think about some of the guys that aren't here that could have been here, and it would have been a different tournament. Now we ready to get top 2 or 3. I don't know about that, but we could have been a little bit more competitive.
Talk about the decision to have Metcalf and St. John in the coach's corner.
Well, I just always like to get those guys out there. I've done this for quite a while, and those guys spend a lot of time. Brent spends a lot of time with Evan Frost, and Derek spends a lot of time with Jacob Frost. So, I turn a lot of guys over to our coaching staff individually in the mornings. So they spend a lot of time, and they have good relationships with them. So. It's a natural thing for me.
Describe the moment when Jacob's match ended. You're all in the tunnel waiting for him. Evan had a tough loss. Jacob just became an All-American.
Boy, that's a contrast of emotions. You're dying for one of them, and the other one is on top of the world. And that was a different moment. We've been sad and we've been glad, but at the same time was unusual.
How difficult is that for Jacob? He probably knows when he steps out on the mat that his twin brother had just lost and fell on that short. How difficult is that for him to compartmentalize that?
I don't know. It's probably a good question to ask him. It's probably a better question to ask him, but he seemed to figure it out.
Okay. Thanks, Coach.